Hey man, good morning, the yard. So hey, welcome, fat boy. First of all, the yard is kind of like prison, right? You're up in the dungeon. Now you got the yard. This is where the inmates roll over, kind of, congregate. So, welcome to the place of the shot caller, baby. No, I'm just kidding. We still all always are active in both. Dude, glad to see you. You bring great insight, bro. At Fat Boy, I still think, and Vel and others, I still think we should all look at, and hey, look, help us out, Fat Boy. Tell us a guy. Let's get some podcast equipment. Let's do this shit. But I'm gonna tell you something, Fat Boy. You got to be a producer, man. You got to do your shit because I don't know how the fuck you do it, man. I've tried this video 3 times and I keep going 30 fucking minutes, and nobody's gonna listen for 30 minutes of just me. So it's hard, dude. Much props. I don't know how you do your job. I know you do some bad motherfuckers. I listen like shit. Say hey to amigos for me, you know. But dude, yeah, podcast, the yard. You can do it from the yard and dungeon. I'm ready to do a podcast. So I'm gonna do a video again, third time. Hopefully this is it. Trying to get 10, 15 minutes because 30 fucking minutes go by. It's such a pretentious. So I may end up cutting off the video at some point, a little short, not making all my points. That's okay. I want to see your videos. I want to see your responses, guys. And I'm excited. One, go dogs. Dude, them dogs, look, back to what you're saying, them dogs, them Georgia dogs, they are blowing this combine the fuck up. Now talent is thing. So that's going to be the lead in because measurables do fucking matter. I'm going to go to something Clarence has talked about and Jason has talked about, and we've seen arguments about it. Okay, and I think, Jason, you say it best. I'm going to throw you out, Lethal, and because I think you made a great post about it. Measurables are important. I don't think Clarence says they're, Clarence, you agree too. Analytics, but they're a piece of the puzzle, right? Analytics is the worst term. I work in analytics. I have been trained in analytics. I've been an analyst most of my life. I'm a black belt, Lean Six Sigma, master black belt, actually. Go figure. My master's is in system engineering. If you know anything about that, one of my master's is. That shit's all about numbers. But the problem with statistics, they're lies, they're damn lies, they're true lies. So what you got to do with them, and I think Jason said it best, and I know you're a big geek too, right? Which not geek you are, and so you're Clarence. You look at how they do on tape, you look at these measurables, what do the measurables that give you a baseline of possible success and predictors and indicators, right? And it's a little bit of everything. Jordan Davis, for example, let me eat crow up front, right? I think I was up front. He's a disruptor, but I 2 down. How can you do it, right? So this dude shows up 20 pounds lighter, probably, if not, but he's still in the same shape. We knew he's fast. This dude, 10-yard, exemplary. I think Obi pointed out. 40 fucking yards at 340 pounds is stupidly long, right? And this dude ran, what, 4 fucking 8? I mean, that 475, that's just sick. Trayvon Walker, right? Trayvon Walker, we got to look at him now. 6'5", 280, 4'5", dude. 4'5". That's legit where metrics come. Because you see on their play, but you're also seeing these incredible measurables, like, 6'5", 280. That's your jumbo Dewey in. That's your guy that can move inside next to Grady. Obviously, shit, fucking interior D-line, I mean, name a nose tackle or even a 4-3, next to Grady, or even on 5 tag. Name a guy that you don't want at 6'6", 340. That is a huge, giant, strong man beast. And that is not Derek fucking Brown. Now, he is a lot faster. So Davis is a great example of somebody that I watch it. I said, this disruptive guy, man, but historically, got that big, right? There's no way he can't do it, right? He's more like Derek Brown, that's 5, I think you're 5'1" or something. He doesn't have stamina. Yeah, I'm eating my crow. I think he has plenty of fucking stamina. Jordan Davis, fucking draft number 8. Fuck, I'm buying a goddamn oversized jersey like you. Trayvon Walker has become one of my best prospects, but it's not about him. But back to why we're having the video. Production, metrics, right? Measurables. Let's use the term measurables. So metrics, real quick thing for anybody who doesn't do it because I do it for a living. And Jason, you know this shit really well. And Clarence, you know it. You try to act like you don't care, but you know this, right? What are we looking for? Measurements and measurables are good for indicators of future potential, right? They are. Future potential of success is what you hopefully want, right? So I'm going to take Malik Willis because there's a comment, and this is the danger of threads, right? They get convoluted and people pop in. I was having a specific discussion with Cog, and I'm not mad about it. This is my fault. Clarence Cog, right? Not a God. About Malik Willis. I said, well, they short quarterbacks. I don't like. I shouldn't have wrote that. That was too much of a concrete statement when really I was making it. What I should have said is shorter quarterbacks often struggle or don't work in the NFL. There could be cultural biases, obviously, that could be changing, right? But in terms of just a straight analytical measurement, the other day the NFL Network said a great stat. I don't remember what it was, and I can't find the link, and I'm too lazy. If you don't believe me, go fuck yourselves. I'm just playing, but seriously, if you don't believe me, go fuck yourselves, because I know you guys. Average NFL quarterback, 6'3", I think, 6'3.5", 220 pounds, runs a 4.8. Which, by the way, 4.8 now is getting probably faster, right? Why is that important? Because they have a long history of the thing. So there were several examples thrown in. Okay, outliers matter in statistics. They're outliers. Just because you've had some players that are shorter that have had success doesn't mean that's the norm, and you're considering risk, especially with this amount of money. So, yes, Drew Brees, one of the most incredible quarterbacks in the NFL. Probably 6 foot, maybe short, right? Brees was a 5-star recruit, just so you know, out of Texas. Had a scholarship to Texas, chose Purdue, right? Did you know? He struggled at San Diego, by the way, right? He did for many years. He never quite found that groove, right? They were trying to replace him. And it wasn't just a thing. He went to a system, 5 years vet, second concrete, did incredibly well. Brees was a second-round pick. That was a mild investment. When he was a free agent signing, it was a less risky proposition than saying a top 10 pick. So you got to keep that. Kyler Murray is a fantastic athlete. He's got a beautiful arm. There's things about Kyler. But how has he faded late season? Baker Mayfield. For some reason, Clarence liked him. I think Clarence liked him because he's just goofy as fuck and he's crazy. Baker's a gamer. Look, Baker has not pulled it all together, dude. Baker has not been what you want out of the number one pick. Baker has a defense, an offense, and I can't remember who it was, but maybe it was y'all boy, right? Because I was all over it. You know, look, Baker. You know, we all talking about Odell Beckham. We don't want him here. Dude, Beckham got to the Rams with my boy, you know, Stafford, which, by the way, is probably the prototypical NFL quarterback. Has some athleticism, good arms, 6'3", you know, 230. Had a great career. I mean, overall, man, he's been above average. He's a great game manager, right? Baker just ain't done it, right? Russell Wilson was another one. Russell Wilson is a short quarterback. Also, let's talk Russell Wilson. And back to why measurables are a piece of the puzzle, but the background matters and the fun things. I watched Russell play at North Carolina State. Russell was a fantastic baseball player too, by the way. You know that? Probably more, if you read back on him, he was very considered just going pro baseball, period, right? Which I think Kyler may be in this category because Kyler loves baseball. I think he was drafted first round athletics. I think, and that is hard for him. So he went to Wisconsin, but when you go to Wisconsin, what the fuck do? You hand the fucking ball off, right? That's what they do. Russell Wilson probably shouldn't have been first round. Russell Wilson was also a very refined passer almost day one. You guys know this. Anybody follow Wilson? Again, though, are they the norm? No, they're not the norm. Now, are there Drew Locks there 6'4"? Are there guys that look, what do you call them? Look like Tarzan play a team? Absolutely. No argument, right? But again, now let's take Malik Willis. Back to your beautiful piece. I got a paper belt, and I'm going to say it. Malik Willis, 6'1", 3 inches shorter than norm. Doesn't mean that's bad. It just means you got to watch it. Okay. Historically, you've been taller. However, there's some outliers. Doesn't necessarily mean the same. 6'1" is not that short. It's not 5'9", right? 230, built like a linebacker. Absolutely got the right build. 6'1" plus 230. You know, this guy's durable, rugged, things like that. Detractor, especially top 10. Liberty. Okay, you can't compare to Trey Lance. Trey Lance was 6'4", 6'5", 225, 230. He's meeting the prototype. Big arm. Both have big arms. Lance is a bit more of a glider in terms, for me, you know, if you were going to position change, I'm not suggesting position change for him either, or either one of them. Lance looks more like a wide receiver running. I think Malik runs more like a running back, literally. In fact, Malik has my perfect measurements for a fucking running back. I mean, I'm not suggesting he does it, but 6'1", 240, I guarantee he could be a running back if he wanted. Big arm. Okay, they both have similar things. So Trey, height, weight, measurement, 40, arms, Malik, accuracy and touch on both of them are here and there. North Dakota State, like it or not, that has turned into the FBS football factory. They're getting more and more players out of that school. I mean, that school is, I think it's partly because of the retired Air Force community and the Air Force presence. That if you're in the military, ever some of you guys are, and I work in the military for years, they tend to invest a lot of money in their high schools, their kids, and so it's not really crazy. If you go look at Shreveport, you always wonder what Shreveport does, because Shreveport has a Air Force base there, and these Air Force stay a long time. Like Trey Lance's dad was a retired Chief Master Sergeant, for example. They put money, and that's anybody's been around a military base knows that. So it's not really surprising. Liberty University is a private Jerry Falwell Christian school. I think there's been like one or two other players from Liberty. The level of competition is shit, right? Obviously, the level of talent on Willis, so even considering these things, right? So he probably didn't have the best talent, so maybe he had to run more. But he doesn't have a extensive route tree. Watch his games. It doesn't. I mean, it's very simplified. Look, to run, boom, right? Can that be worked with? Yes. Is he smart? He seems fine. I think he was a 32-1. I think he's a really smart kid. There's no problem with that, trying to tell. I love his intangibles. But again, he's got some things about height kind of, right? His production. While you're against lesser production, and you could say this is Lance, who didn't play much, but Lance had COVID. So you got to give Lance a little bit of a pass. You can't predict the same, because he did have a COVID stuff, right? Wink's running production through the roof, right? No argument, right? Damn near like another running back, right? Correct? Passing's okay. It's got some bunch of mistakes though too. There's a lot of issues with his game. The reads weren't very complete. Does that mean he can't learn? No, it does not. But you have to consider these things, right? So, so I'm picking on Malik. I'm not really picking on Malik, but it came up. I also made a comment, Desmond Ritter. Ritter, 6'4", 220-ish, right? I think right at what you height, weight, fast. It's 4'5", right? He has the production. He played at FBS Division I school against some elite defenses and did fantastic. Much more extensive route tree. Is his ceiling up here? Clarence, I can't argue. I know you like Malik for a while, but let's be honest, you like Malik Willis. Clarence, I'm looking at you as a second rounder, maybe a late first rounder. Do you like him as a top 10? Maybe because you don't like this draft. However, I disagree with you, and it's okay. So back to you, Bill. You made this passionate quote about why we would do it. I challenge, and I like guys, I think you're brilliant, and I'm not busting your balls. You did a great job, and it's a valid option, a valid course of action. I'm going to use a military term. But the best strategists have multiple course of actions, and you seem like a guy's out of the box. So we're assuming TF and everything. So when you had Matt Ryan had an off-year production. I'm not going to go why, but I had a longer one, but it goes on forever, right? That's why I keep redoing the video. They kept changing coordinators, blah, blah, blah. If you ever notice, every year Matt changes coordinator systems. He has by his standard, a subpar career year. It wasn't a terrible year by any chance. 22 touchdowns, right? 2 on the ground, I think 15 interceptions. Still a good year. I mean, he's still better than most of the fucking quarterbacks. I mean, I'm telling you right now. But by his standards, not Matt, right? He's had that every year. So Matt historically has that baseline. He will rebound, right? 2, he's still not injured. Anybody seen him live, he's still got ample zip on the ball, right? 3, he's got more athleticism people give him credit for. As you know, he can do more in the pocket. And then 4, let's look at why Matt had issues. We had a fucking O-line that included a left guard Mayfield, who was a 3rd rounder, drafted on potential. I think it was based on his RAS score. I really do think analytics played in why they did it. They didn't even intend to start him. This kid is a right tackle, and you're putting him left guard. Okay, in fairness to him, that's got to be a hell of a, that's like wiping my ass with my left hand. That's kind of hard, dude. Center, dude, Henny's terrible. McGarry, I fucking hate McGarry. So the O-line had issues. Mike Davis didn't turn out to be the consistent back, right? We all agree. You lost fucking Julio. We knew we were going to lose Julio, right? You know, he's declining, but his presence mattered. And then Calvin fucking Ridley, you know, shit happened with Calvin, so you don't even have that fear. It's amazing the season that Pitts, the unicorn, had, right? It is. The guy had 5 people. Look at those factors. Can you say 36 really that old? Was it age? Was it declining? So back to your coach, you're right. You do have to have a succession plan. You have to think, right? Why wouldn't you? But this is where need and BPA are going to say, do I reach? And I'm saying reach from my perspective only, for a guy from Liberty University, a guy that couldn't beat out Bo Nix. There's a reason. Don't know why, because they'll have investigators. He's raw. He's got a great arm. He's got a great dime. He throws them like a dime, right? He does. Big arm. Got to see. But do I have the infrastructure in place to really support that? And do I want to expend that pick right now to sit on the bench at 8? That's a lot of talent, guys. Yeah, Jordan fucking Davis, 6'6", 340, running fucking 4.8s. You know, and the tape matches, right? Javon Walker, 6'5", 280, tape matches. Walker could play 5 tag, 0 tag, you name it, inside, outside. You know, these are players. Jermaine Johnson, again, right? Look at this, guys. I mean, look at the players available. It's not a bad draft. Thibodeau. Fucking Hutchinson. I don't think Hutchinson, but what if Hutchinson? What if Kyle fucking Hamilton? Anybody here is going to tell me don't draft Kyle Hamilton? Fuck Nakobe Dean, depending on what he does. You know, the intangible, the leaders. They got some big-time guys. Even Sauce Gardner could be anything. So we're going to draft a guy from Liberty when we don't have the infrastructure to sit on the bench? You can't compare the Denver situation either, because I don't, you know, you brought Denver up. Would a quarterback have saved it? I don't know. Fangio's a shitty coach. He knows defense, right? He's a shitty coach, though. He's a great defensive coordinator. Elway hadn't done shit since, except fuck up things since, the only time Elway's really had his shit together, and they've had some good teams, right? Has been what? Back when they had Peyton Manning and Quebec. Hasn't really done shit ever, right? Maybe that's the bigger problem there. Okay, maybe Fields, but you think that really saves their job? I mean, I don't see Urban Meyer playing anymore. You know, he's not coaching. Yeah, he's a fucking douchebag, but I think quarterback thing. Daniel Jones certainly didn't bail out the fucking Giants, right? Either side, right? 2 coaching staffs. Carolina didn't dump Rule, right? Even though, you know, they have QB issues. But back to the teams, like I'm looking at Carolina, right? I'm looking at Pittsburgh, right? Let's look at these guys. So when you look at some that are potentially red flags, but not red flags, but ways you grade somebody objectively, right? I look at Malik Willis if I'm Carolina, okay? Like I have a good running game, even without McCaffrey, right? I have some ability at wide receiver. My line's gotten better. I have a abundantly great defense coming along, right? Pittsburgh. Beautiful defense, right? Najee fucking Harris, dual threat, right? Got some receivers. Got a little bit of O-line issues, but they have cap room, and they could probably fix them, right? Those are better spots that can accept the tolerance for the risk of Malik and bringing him along more in a more progressive fashion. I'm going to take Steelers, which I think could be a trade-up partner if we choose we want to go down. And I'm not saying we would. But let's just say Pittsburgh, right? So they've been watching film. They know their shit. They like to draft, right? They have Najee Harris. They got some receiving talent down there, right? You know, they got O-line isn't bad. They got a few pieces, but they can fix that. And they always have historically. Their defense is fucking dominant. And I love their defense, by the way. Dude, maybe I move up for 20. I get him Malik. You know why? Because worst case scenario, I can simplify his game. I can throw Najee 100 fucking times. I can. They know how to draft running backs. They do, dual purpose. I can get another running back. I can keep it short. I could draft a Trey McBride. I could draft a short option topics. I could take advantage of his, you know, big arm, you know, with Dante Johnson. Maybe they get a speedster. Maybe they get Calvin Austin. I can play his game, and I can let him come along well. Atlanta cannot, in my opinion. We have O-line issues. We have wide receiver issues, right? We do, like it or not. We're a little one deep on tight end. You know, and Pitts, for all intents, is your wide receiver, by the way. And we don't have a fucking defense. That doesn't fit to go number 10. So sorry, Bill. That's the point. Is man expensive? They're not committing. Okay, we're already. I think, Bill, I'm certainly not picking on you. I'm actually throwing another option. And you probably already know this. 48 million. Are they going to go? Look, I do have media training. My background is statistical. Yeah, it's off, but I went up and believe it or not, despite their hair and tattoos, pretty decently in DOD. Clarence, you can vouch. So they send media training. They bring in actual media people to teach us. First rule of media is they ask a question, and they're going to ask a question. What are you going to do about Matt Ryan? They're going to ask that question, right? You don't commit. They're doing exactly by the book. You don't commit. The bad teams commit. Bill Belichick's probably the anti-media gay, but he doesn't write no comment or I don't care. He's a little more snarly. TF and them are just like, but why would they commit? Why would they back? You'd be foolish. Because as soon as you say, yeah, I'm going to commit to Matt Ryan, you've just lost all types of negotiation power with your agent. I don't think they're going to do a 48 mil. I think they're playing a little chicken. I think, one, they're trying to leave themselves open so the pick looks attractive. They want to move out. Two, they could fall in love with a quarterback. Maybe like Des Ridmer. Maybe they do like Malik. They don't want to box themselves a corner. I don't think they play at 48 mil. I think they would just soon trade him. But I don't think I don't think they will. There's a report now saying they're not going to trade him. Like teams have inquired, they won't trade him. So see what I'm saying? I think they're going to extend him. If you look at their history, they had Mariota, a big cap hit, and they got in, a guy like Tannehill, kind of brought him back in Tennessee, right? That's an option here, obviously, as a successor. TF obviously go with, Breeze for years, every year. And to put it in perspective, yeah, the money's different, but think of the time period. Every year, Breeze was going to cripple the fucking cap, right? Man, they always seem to work. Fucking Saints find ways to make it work, right? And I think TF will do it. Let's say they extend Matt 4 years. Yeah, will we get dead money? Yeah, I think there's 15 mil dead or something after Breeze retired. Look, teams have learned to manipulate dead money for years. I think one time, didn't Rams have like 80 mil? There's some crazy number dead money. That's the cost of doing business. Stafford, obviously, it might be a model. Teams trade late picks, right, to get vets. I don't think quarterbacks as dire need. You got to go right now. I do think they'll evaluate year to year. I don't argue that, but I don't think they'll play that crippling 48 mil. And look, let's say this, I'm going to end it soon because it gets too much. Back to infrastructure, I think you get the gist. We don't have the infrastructure. Say a team like Pittsburgh, which there's two teams, Pittsburgh and I think Denver, and possibly Philly come to mind. Philly is interesting. Do they really like Jalen Hurts? I think they like the things that Jalen Hurts can do. So I like Jalen and I like Malik. Jalen to me and Malik, if you're going to comp one, but I think Malik has a better arm. He may be brighter than Jalen Hurts too. Malik, I believe, he's a great one in the league. I think he's at 32. And when you listen to him, he's just a highly intelligent guy. I like Hurts. I like things about Hurts. Hurts is always, I'm a Bama follower too. Hurts, let's say he's dumb. He's not a logical progression thinker. I will say this, with Willis, I see the Hurts type of run ability. I see a great arm. He's got some things, but I see a really smart kid. Really smart kid. So remember I was telling you, I don't hate on him. Kyler Murray, there's some things off Murray I don't see, that I don't think, but I think Malik, I can see Philly. Let's just say Philly came in. Philly, the Jalen Hurts experiment. They got him in the second round. I just want to move on. Philly's in a position, they could send 2 first-round picks this year. They could. What if we got those? That could change the dynamic of how we decide to build. Crazy sounding, but maybe it works, right? Pittsburgh could come all the way up to 20. They have the infrastructure. Get a next year's first, right? Denver, it's going to cost you to move up, but they will move up. I don't know if that's going to happen. We could stay where we're at and draft, but I think back to your point, back to what I'm getting at in kind of Villa. And again, I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling Ovi or anybody out. I don't hate short quarterbacks, but you got to look at historical measurables. They're outliers. However, he's 6'1". He is very well built. The small skull is a little bit issue, but the right system, the right infrastructure. This is a not-for-long league. I don't think Denver's coaches got fired again, Bill, because of that. They got fired because they're fucking incompetent. Bottom line, and Elway's incompetent. He's riding the coattails of the one he got lucky when he got Peyton fucking Manning. If they're going to do anything, who knows? Maybe they'll swing a trade for Rodgers or something. I don't know. I doubt Matt Ryan's the one they want either, by the way. But good on Matt if you did. By the way, give me the package. But I don't think between need and BK, I don't think it's prudent to go quarterback this year. I don't think you have to. Why would you do it? Why not build your infrastructure? I mean, seriously. You know, we go, oh, what if we have capital for next year? Well, you evaluate players every year. That's the NFL, right? This ain't baseball. You know, one thing about NFL, baseball, you sign a fucking slugger like the Braves. They're taking their time, or we're taking their time with Freddie Freeman. Yeah, you know, but you lock yourself in 10-year fucking contract with those type deals. You know, that's guaranteed fucking money. There's no cap. This is a different league. So let's say we extend Matt Ryan 4 years, like to get cap relief, right? Or next year, or whatever we do, right? I'm not even getting mechanics. Get it to a manageable cap hit, 20 mil, whatever it is, right? The average, right? So we can sign players like, dude, Jed, before I forget. I'm all down with that. Jordan Davis, sign my boy Marcus Williams. I don't give a fuck what they do. Defense is much better. Doesn't mean Matt's going to go 4 years. It doesn't mean you have to have a quarterback in place. Let's say you go 4 years. You're going to need some dead money. You're probably going to need dead money when he retires. You know, even if he got a sick, whatever contract. But you're going to evaluate every player year to year, period. You really do. I mean, even younger players you evaluate year to year. We get some of this franchise myth. The fact is, not for long, it's the NFL, baby. I don't give a shit who you are. You know what I mean? It wasn't that long ago that the Stafford was an afterthought, right? Now he's the toast of the fucking town, you know? Things happen, things revive. And, you know, and Matt, to me, one thing I'm going to throw in from intangible, he like had fun playing the fucking game. So I don't think you have to have a plan in place as much. Look, if you really like Willis, fuck yeah, I'll like him. I'll root for him. I just sit him on the fucking bench 2 years while you build this infrastructure. To me, I think more likely they'll either do two things. They'll either stay where they're at. They'll take probably a lead defender. I really do think that. Maybe one receiver. Drake London, if you run say 4-4, might be a possibility. You know, I can't lie, 6'5", 220 wide receiver, got great tape, running 4-4. You know, you kind of got to go 2 unicorns. That makes sense. And look, anybody hasn't really watched Drake London, I watched a lot of Drake London. I like Drake London. Clarence, I think you'll grow to love him. I know you got a little bit of angle, but that dude is a hard-ass kind of wide receiver you would like. Again, we talked about, you guys know all the defensive prospects. Give me a Trayvon Walker. Give me a Nakobe Dean if you want. I love Nakobe Dean. I don't think quarterback's in the card. I maybe coming up later, moving up in the first. Maybe if one drops. I don't know. I don't think at 8. However, I think that 8 pick has value. And again, Bill, you bring a compelling case. I don't agree with your points completely, but I follow the logic train, and that's what we discussed. So please put a counter argument as well. I could see a Pittsburgh coming up. Maybe we parlay that down. Obviously, the talent won't be as much, but it gives you multiple picks. So that was a long video. I'm still, at least I'm under 30 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. This is passionate. I want to hear your thoughts. So my thoughts to rewrap, and I want to hear yours to rewrap, because I like to rewrap things. And Fat Boy podcast, Yard podcast. Then we could actually talk and go through these. It'd be awesome. Tell us what equipment to buy. I'll go buy the equipment. Get them little speakers, dude. I don't know how to do it, Fat Boy. So please, buddy, show us how to do it. Lethal, I know you're on board. It'd be fun to do a podcast for real together, you guys. So I'm asking, do you think we'll take a quarterback this year? I say yes and no. We could take one later. We could move up in first if we really like a guy. I'm using Ritter, for example. Let's say Ritter fell. Let's say Malik fell. I think we could go back up. That makes a little sense. I don't know if we would. I don't think at 8. That's my opinion. I want to hear yours. 2, do we have the right infrastructure for a young QB? No, I think we're 2 years off. We won 7 games. We can win more by adding talent. We can be competitive. But I think you need to run the vet. And we may want a vet by the time we get 2-3 years. Do you think TF and those jobs in danger? No. If they show a bit of improvement next year, could be 1 game, 2 game, I think their job's safe. I don't think a quarterback's going to make a difference one way or another. It's not. It didn't. And you know what? Drew Lock didn't lose the season for fucking Denver. Fangio is just not a very good coach. They made some questionable fucking play. Watch Denver. I mean, There's times they didn't even use Javonte Williams. I mean, you notice that? I mean, they got Javonte Williams. Fantasy guys, toward the end of the season, used. I mean, they just make some dorky decisions. I mean, even trading Miller, was it really? I don't know. I don't think that was a reason. I think Sertan was a right pick. Do you have an idea who you pick? I just want to hear your opinions, but that's my thoughts. Long rambling, and again, I don't hate short quarterbacks. I'm not an overly. I believe in analytics. I believe in measurements. Measurables is the right thing because they do provide indicators of success, indicators, potentials. Right. That's it. From the average, I will stand by shorter quarterbacks have not had a history of success, right? Doesn't mean they can't. Two, you know my feelings of it. Anyway, guys, at 30 minutes, I'm signing off. If you don't watch it all, no offense, but if you do, throw your thoughts back. Podcast. Bye, y'all.